This is Stay Modern with Personal Technology. My name is Ravi Sandhu, and I wrote an article recently on my website, ravi8.me. I'm going to hand you over to my friends who are going to provide you a deeper analysis and insight about my article.
All right, so you know how sometimes you realize you're doing something in like the most outdated way possible? Like the other day I was wrestling with a can opener. You know that sound it makes when it's about to like snap off?
Yeah.
Turns out my friend's new one practically does the job for you, and it just hit me like, how often am I stuck in the dark ages with this stuff?
Well, you've just stumbled upon a universal truth, and it's the perfect example of what we call random behaviors.
Okay, so I'm not just imagining it's an actual thing?
Oh, it's a real phenomenon, and it's not about like being technologically challenged or anything. It's more about how we as humans adapt or don't to a world that's constantly evolving.
Okay, so how do we keep up? Because it feels like every time I figure something out, bam, there's a new version or update and I'm back to square one.
Well, there's actually a whole framework for understanding how we learn new skills, and technology is constantly pushing us to do just that.
A framework, you say?
Okay.
Now you've got my attention. Tell me more.
It's called the 4 Stages of Competence. Imagine any skill you've totally mastered, like driving a car.
Yeah.
At first, you're in what's called unconscious incompetence. You don't even know what you don't know about driving.
Makes sense.
Then you get behind the wheel, and bam, conscious incompetence hits hard.
Oh, yeah, I can relate to that feeling.
Right. Suddenly you realize how much you don't know, and stalling at a green light becomes this mortifying experience.
Been there.
Yeah.
Can't confirm stalling out is not a good look. Okay, so you're clueless. Then you're painfully aware of being clueless, but what's next? How do you graduate from driving school of hard knocks?
That, my friend, is where conscious competence comes in. You're actively learning, practicing getting better. You still have to think things through, but you're making progress.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
And finally, you reach unconscious competence. Driving is like second nature. You can parallel park without breaking a sweat. You don't even think about changing lanes.
And suddenly, you're the one giving your friends driving tips. I like this framework. But how does this all connect back to those random behaviors we were talking about? You know, the whole technology thing.
Well, here's the catch. Unlike driving, technology never stops evolving. Just when you think you've reached unconscious competence with your smartphone, they release a new operating system and boom, you're right back to feeling like you're fumbling with a rotary phone.
The struggle is real.
Exactly. This constant evolution means we're constantly cycling through these stages, and that's where those random behaviors can really trip us up.
So it's like just when I think I've finally mastered my phone, a new one comes out and I'm back to feeling like a tech-challenged caveman.
And it's not just about new gadgets popping up all the time. It's also how the stuff we already have changes and evolves. We're talking about things diverging and converging.
Diverging and converging. Okay. Lay it on me. I'm all ears.
Okay, so picture this. You're at the grocery store, you hit the cereal aisle, and bam! You're faced with like a million different options. That's divergence in action.
Oh my gosh. Don't even get me started on the cereal aisle. It's like sensory overload. Last time I swear I saw a flavor called Unicorn Sprinkles Explosion or something ridiculous.
Exactly. And it's not just cereal, right? Phones, clothes, even cars. It's like every product under the sun has a million variations these days.
Okay, so that's divergence. A million options branching out. What about convergence? Where does that fit in?
Convergence is when different technologies kind of smash together to make something totally new. Think about your smartphone. It's a phone, a camera, a music player, a mini computer, all in one.
It really is mind-blowing when you think about it. And it's not just phones, right? You've got those watches that can like track your steps and send text messages, and fridges that order groceries for you. The future is now, and it's both amazing and a little terrifying.
It definitely keeps things interesting, but you're right. With so much change, it's easy to get stuck in our ways, even without realizing it. Our brains like efficiency, and that sometimes leads to mental shortcuts.
Mental shortcuts, you say? Like what?
Like application dominance bias. It's a fascinating little quirk of how our minds work.
Application dominance bias. Okay, that sounds intimidating. Break it down for me.
It's simpler than it sounds. Remember that cereal aisle we talked about? Let's say you always buy the same brand out of habit. You might even call all cereal by that brand name, even if you know there are others.
Oh, wow. I totally do that. I ask for a Kleenex when I really mean any kind of tissue, or tell people to Google it when I just mean to search for something online. It's like the brand becomes the default word for the entire category.
And that's exactly what application dominance bias is. One brand becomes so dominant in our minds
that it overshadows all the others.
So basically, we get so comfy with certain brands that we don't even realize we're missing out on other, maybe even better options.
Exactly. And that's where this bias can really limit us. You might be missing out on a phone with better camera or a grocery store with a less overwhelming selection, all because you're stuck on autopilot. You're letting your past dictate your present and future experiences.
Okay, wow, that's kind of deep. So how do we break free from this application dominance bias and avoid those facepalm random behavior moments? I'm ready to embrace the modern world without drowning in a sea of choices.
Well, the good news is it doesn't require becoming some kind of tech guru. It's really about shifting your mindset and building simple habits. A good place to start is by cultivating self-awareness. Just think about the tools and technology you use every day. Are they still the best option for you, or are you just clinging to the familiar?
So it's like taking inventory, but for our tech. Do I really need to be using the same note-taking app from high school? Probably not. What else can we do?
Embrace change and be curious. Instead of feeling intimidated by something new, see it as a chance to learn and grow. You might discover a more efficient or enjoyable way of doing things.
I like that. So instead of thinking, a new update, it's more like, ooh, what's new and cool about this?
Exactly. And lastly, don't be afraid to question those assumptions you have. Just because something's always been done a certain way doesn't mean it's still the best way. Shop around, compare features, and make informed choices that really work for you.
So to wrap this all up, be aware of your habits, be curious, and don't be afraid to explore all the options. It's about being open to new possibilities without getting overwhelmed by all the choices.
Well said. It's a continuous journey of learning and adapting, but it's worth it. You gain efficiency, you might even find you enjoy things more, and maybe you get a little more peace of mind.
Absolutely. You know what? This whole conversation has me thinking about how this applies to so much more than just technology. Relationships, career choices, even personal growth. It's all about recognizing those ruts and being brave enough to see what else is out there.
Now you're thinking like a true modern master, and that's what this deep dive is all about. We're here to equip you with the knowledge and tools to navigate this ever-changing world confidently, and maybe even have a little fun along the way.
This has been amazing. Seriously, so much to think about. Until next time, keep those minds curious and those can openers updated.
Hey, it's Ravi again. I hope you found those insights useful. For future articles, come and join me on my website, ravi8.me. Until next time, stay modern with business technology.